of Sean Bartholomew. She's great down the 1100 metre straight. She's also great second up, which she is today. Graham Samperi has found number 15 past the skies, which was not a bad run last start at Caulfield.
Plenty of chances here, as there is in the Tue's new Melbourne Cup. Here's the update.
One Vinnie Rowe, 8.10. 2 Jardines Lookout, 22.90. 3 Dahlia Port, 31.70. 4 Sandmason, 48.50. 5 Helene Vitality, 33.40. 6 Hatha Anna, 59.30. 7 Freemason, 38.10. Scratch 8 Maguire, 9 Fusion, 10.60. 10 Rain Gauge, 10.90. 11 Beekeeper, 10.10. 12 County Tyrone, 81.70. 13 Hale, 50.70. 14 Media Puzzle, 6.20. 15 Mr Prudent, 41.90. 16 Pentastic, 33. 17 Prized Gem, 59.50. 18 Victory Smile, 74.30. 19 Cyclades, 31.90. 20 Distinctly Secret, 7.40. 21 Grey Song, 58. 22 Thong Classic, 30. 23 Miss Meliss, 17.60. And Requiem, number 24, 24.20.
178 minutes to go. What about Freemason number 7, Richard? It's his third Melbourne Cup, 16th last year, 6th a couple of years ago.
He's had more goes than I have at Melbourne Cups, and he hasn't been able to win one. And I tell you what, he hasn't won in a little while. Some people say he's a bit of a non-winner. He tends to race in the top grade, and that makes it tough for him, and he's just probably short that top grade. But he's an honest performer, and he'll give you a shot somewhere in the run.
Frankie Dettori's on Putin today. He said that at some stage he may have to go to the lead and go for home, a fair way out. Second to Vinnie Rowe in the Irish St Leger, won the Ballycullen Stakes and was second in the same race to Vinnie Rowe the year before that.
Well, he's a genuine 2-miler, and that's why Frankie will want to go for home somewhere. He'll want to make sure that anything else in the race is strong enough to chase him. You see him lifting that hind leg there, a little bit of string hold. It's nothing to worry about. It's just a little trait that he has. He's a genuine on-pace runner. You'll see him go forward from the barrier 15. Frankie won't hold him up in the field.
Rain Gauge was 6th last year. Greg Childs to ride this year. His last start was a strong second. He did protest against the winner in the Moonee Valley Cup, and he was 7th in the Caulfield Cup. George Hanlon, the trainer.
What can you say about George Hanlon? A master trainer. He'll have this horse spot on the day. Look at the beautiful coat he had that day. I tell you what, he was a little bit glossy that day when I saw him, and I think he'll trim down beautifully for this race. He's going to be one of our best local chances. He's a genuine star. He ran 6th in the race last year.
Beekeeper's a bit of a baby. He's only had 8 starts, and he's running in the Melbourne Cup today. Kerrin McAvoy is riding him. He's had a full so far today. Not a bad run in the Caulfield Cup, beaten less than 2 lengths.
He was a very good 3-year-old, this horse, and that's when the Godolphins bought him. They paid a bit of money for him too. He's a bit of an unknown quantity. His run in the Caulfield Cup was impressive. Got hung up in traffic with about 1,000 metres to go. Didn't get a clear run till late, but rattled home. Showed us that the 2 miles will be easy.
5 of County Tyrone's 6 wins have been on rain-affected tracks. He doesn't get that today. He's a Queensland Derby winner. He was 8th at Moonee Valley in the Cup.
Yes, on his 8th at Moonee Valley, you couldn't see him taking part in this. His form really hasn't been the classic strong form you're looking for, but he is a Derby winner, the 2,400 metres. Well, it's nearly as far as a Melbourne Cup. Maybe that'll stand him in good stead.
We'll continue our run through the contenders in this year's Tue's new Melbourne Cup as we build up to the great race, and here's Shelley Craft.
Welcome to the L'Oreal Paris Powder Room. I'm here with the 5 finalists, and after their shopping spree at Westfield, they are certainly looking sensational. Janine, how did you decide what to wear today?
Well, with the hat from Elizabeth Hurst Millinery, I just loved this outfit from Table 8.
Well, it is absolutely divine in lemon today.
Thank you very much.
Leanne?
Actually, I've gone for the lollipop look today, thanks to Alana Hill.
That's gorgeous. Rhiannon, black and white, always a classic for the races.
Yes, my dress is from Joy. Hair and makeup beautifully done by L'Oreal Paris.
Catherine, we have a bit of an equestrian look going on here.
Well, it is the Melbourne Cup after all, so I thought I'd suit up in something gorgeous by Morrissey at David Jones. It's wonderful.
It is, it's divine. And Chantel on the end, pretty in pink.
Yes, I'm spoilt today in Alana Hill. We're going with the flower theme, so I feel very pretty.
Very nice, but which horse are you going with? That's the question.
I'm going with Helene Vitality and Media Puzzle today.
Okay, Catherine?
I'm going for a bit of an international feel. I think the Irish stayers are going to be pretty good. My money's on Vinnie Rowe, but for a bit of a second tip, maybe Fusion.
She's been reading the guide. Yeah. Rhiannon, where's your money?
I'm also going for Vinnie Rowe after a tip from one of my Irish friends back in Sydney. He thinks it's a sure thing.
Leanne, have you gone in the same direction as the girls?
No way, I'm being patriotic and I'm going for the Aussie Thong Classic.
Thong Classic. And Janine, on the end.
I'm also with the Aussie horse, Rain Gauge, with the water restrictions out at the moment, so
Well, there's the girls' tips. I guess the question is, which one of these 5 are you going to put your bet on?
Shelley, I've written every one of them down and I'll try and work it out over the next 2.5 hours. Naomi Robson's busy today, the presenter of Today Tonight, presenting a trophy earlier today and now out and about.
Yes, I'm here with milliner Angela Cordingley. And Angela, this is a huge time of the year for you, isn't it?
It certainly is, Naomi. Huge.
Are you getting any sleep at all?
Very little.
Now tell me, obviously Melbourne Cup is all about hats. Everyone's trying to outdo each other.
Yes.
How do you pick the right hat for the right outfit?
Well, it's a matter of talking to the person, finding out what they like, big, small, colours, and then just, you know, asking them what they're wearing and then design the hat to go with the outfit and the personality.
Is it hard to find the materials? Because, of course, all these poor little feathers on my hat, for instance, they must run out.
They do. They run very short. It'd be very hard to find a particular colour that you are looking for right now. Someone wants a green feather, forget it.
Well, I'm really glad you found the feathers for mine. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Looking great, aren't they? Well, Jimmy Cassie's ridden a winner already today in the Pumper. Well, he's here to ride County Tyrone in the Tue's new Melbourne Cup. 5 years ago, he was here to ride Might and Power. And what a ride it was.
They attacked him 1,000 from home, 800 from home, 600 from home.
Might and Power shook off linesman though.
And when Doremus come at him sort of inside the last 100, if I could have ever moved a winning post in my life, I was trying to move one that day.
Might and Power the leader, Doremus trying hardest coming at him. Might and Power and Doremus getting to Might and Power, they hit the line, photo, oh!
When I seen Greg go up with the hand, you know, that he had won, I was quite devastated. I trotted up to Johnny Letts, who does the commentary after the race, to interview the jockey, and I said to Lettsy, what number's in the frame? He said 3, and I just went, oh, thank you.
Seven's broadcast of the Melbourne Cup Carnival is brought to you by Tue's New, backing the Melbourne Cup.
I wonder if you're a bit like me and you look back to those days at your mum and dad's house when you were a kid and all the rules at the dinner table, no elbows on the table, not too much on your fork, no speaking with your mouth full, things like that. May I be excused, please? Great memories, aren't they? Well, my favourite, and something that you'll never see out here at the races with the upper echelon of society, is playing with your food. They'd never do that out here. They might play with their sakartas, they won't play with their food. Did I tell you? All class out here in the car park parties. They love their food, they love their games, and they're learning to love their sakartas.
Those tricks might get a little more difficult as the day goes on. Neil Kearney, the ever-sociable Neil Kearney's found himself in the marquee area.
Just as the Melbourne Cup has become a global event, the marquees have come a long, long way since the days of the old Worth Circus tents. Across here, the elegant Myer tent, and here the marquee that's Royal Dalton. And to our right, Virgin Mobile. Yes, they're all trying to get the jump on one another out here, trying to impress. The marquee tents are all trying to put their best flap forward in what's become a golden mile. There are irises at the Saab tent and a Salvador Dali at Cannon, which is likely to get the photo finish. Except Emirates even has the cabin crew on the door. And this is the jewel in the crown. Please ignore the sign. Emirates even has slippers for the ladies' tootsies for when they get a little bit tired later on. But through here, they've taken the Melbourne Cup to a whole new level. A fully plumbed porcelain loo. Can you imagine how popular that's going to be at 5 o'clock?
Don't know if I want to see that, Richard, do you?
Yeah,
we're stuck in here for a long time today, aren't we?
We are.
Anyway, thanks for that.
I just had a thought.
You just stay where you are for the next 6 hours. Don't you dare move. David Hayes, well, he'll be moving a bit. He knows what it's like to win a Melbourne Cup. Peter Doniger's with him.
David Hayes, great to see you at Flemington. Are you a Hong Kong trainer or an Australian trainer today?
No, I'm a Hong Kong trainer today and pleased to be one.
Helene Vitality, we saw him at the stables the other morning. He'd been treated on the hoof. Is there any problem there?
No, he's just got a bad habit in his box where he paws a lot and he keeps flipping his left shoe off. And when you keep replacing a shoe 3-4 times in 2 weeks, they run out of a bit of foot. So we've had to equilox his foot. It's quite a common thing. Doesn't affect his action, but we've just had to equilox it so he doesn't pull it off in the race and lose a bit of grip.
Will the ground suit him?
Oh, he'll love the ground today. The harder the better, and I just think it's very fair ground.
David Hayes, best of luck.
Thank you.
It's good sitting alongside you. You understand all these horsey things, don't you?
I do. I was talking about Equilox there. It's almost like araldite that they fill in all the holes in the horse's hoof, and it bonds like hoof itself, so it doesn't have a separation between the two substances. It's as close to hoof as you can get while still being plastic.
There it is.
There you go.
There's the latest on Helene Vitality. And for the latest on the Cup Eve Ball, it was on last night, Francis Murphy.
The Melbourne Cup may stop the nation for 3 minutes on Tuesday afternoon, but why wait until then to start the celebrations? The bubbly is already well and truly flowing here. This is the Variety Club Cup Eve Ball, and this is where the party starts. You look fantastic. Have you got your outfit planned for tomorrow?
I do indeed. I've got 2 outfits depending on the weather.
So who are you backing?
Vinnie Rowe, number 17.
Who are you backing?
Beekeeper.
Yeah, Vinnie Rowe. I'm going to go with Media Puzzle. I'm betting on Vinnie Rowe.
Looks like fun, that's for sure. But we were doing our form, unfortunately, last night. Richard Asley, they're in the mounting yard for the Cannon Sprint. This race for mares 4 years and up, over 1,100 metres. And number one, well, she's a fair bit of class, but she can be a bit of trouble too, Fair Embrace, at the stalls. Terrible run last start at Caulfield. Prior to that was very competitive against Spinning Hill and Co. in the Scalacci.
Very unusual run last start too. She never puts in a bad run. Her last runs before that were all good runs. The Scalacci was only 5th of 7, but was in a great field. And before that, she'd won the Sapphire Stakes. I think she's a quality filly. Damien Oliver with 59 kilos out of the barrier 5. She'll go well.
Here's number 4, Speaker. She was favourite first up at Caulfield, had not much luck behind Celestia. 4 of her 5 wins have been at Caulfield.
Don't worry about her last 2 runs. She's had no luck at either of them. And the second last at Caulfield, just forget it. But even at Sandown, she didn't have much luck, and she still got up the previous start. She has some ability and will be a little chance.
3 Dolphin Dancer and 4th in this race last year, so often you see horses run well at the same time over the same journey. And her first up third, she was beaten less than a length behind Celestia at Caulfield.
And she's got a pretty good second up record as well. She's won one and been placed as well. Look, she never runs a bad race. She's one of these that seems to go out and run a good race every start. You can always have your money on her with some confidence that she'll put in a good effort.
5 Just Divine was again in that race that Celestia won the last race of the day on the Cup Day. It's her first straight start. Pretty good form in New South Wales, 4th in the Starlight and 5th in the Shirako.
She's probably trialled here, being brought from Queensland. They probably brought her here and trialled her up the straight. But their first start, you've always got to take them on trust. And Just Divine, Doomben form, I'd have to risk her.
This mare's from Kangaroo Island, South Australia, Empress Waltz by Rubiton. Saw Rubitano win on the weekend, won 3 of her last 4, including beating Deprave at Victoria Park. Number 2, Empress Waltz.
OK, Empress Waltz. Look, form has been outstanding. If you like South Australian form, she's got it all. She's been putting it together for weeks and weeks now. First start in Victoria this time in, well, you've got to take her on trust, but Glen Boss, barrier 4, got a chance.
It's one of those races where a lot have got a chance, haven't they? Raja Lane's only won 2 out of 21 with 12 placings. 4th first up at Caulfield. Hasn't won since July 2001.
But she is fairly honest, Raja Lane. She is always thereabouts, you know. She's never too far behind her. I think her worst effort in the last 5 starts is a 4th. She's honest. She hasn't got a lot of class. 17 alley means she'll go to the outside rail.
7 Agalia. Now, she's run very well at Victoria Park, up the straight there, so that's a straight track in Adelaide. She's had 2 wins. Has only had the 12 starts for 5 wins. No luck at Caulfield yet again.
Look, forget she ran at Caulfield. No luck at all. 12th of 14. I wouldn't be worried. Go on the form before that, which is basically in South Australia. She's got a lightweight chance, this filly.
River Dove, very good Flemington horse, has had a couple of wins up the straight, 2 wins at this distance. She didn't get out of her pocket when she was 5th behind Celestia.
She's 4-year-old. She's only had 10 runs. They race her very sparingly. She goes brilliantly second up. She's second up today. She goes brilliantly up the straight here, and she's up the straight again. So I think she's got all the ticks. I'm tipping River Dove.
American Graffiti, number 10. At the start of this preparation, won 3 out of 4. Form tapered a little, 10th at Caulfield, last start 3rd at Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour was a Class 5 event, fairly low grade. She did rattle home from last, but on her provincial form and what she's shown us in the city, I think she's got the job ahead.
12, Girl of Illuminaire, was 100 to 1 at Caulfield and was beaten about a length behind Celestia. Prior to that, 4th at Newcastle over 900.
I'm worried about that form around Celestia because a lot of horses finish close. Bunch finishes are always misleading. 4th of 8 at Newcastle in a 900 metre race previous is not the right sort of form you want coming into this. I'm risking her too.
13, Granier, 6-year-old mare, first start at Flemington. She's won 2 races at 1100, has been kept fresh after a Sandown win in September.
You've got to respect consistent form, and she has been consistent. That last winning form is good form. She's there with a lightweight chance. Danny Beasley from Sydney has come down to ride it. The barrier 3, she'll race up that inside rail.
14, Latin Class from the Moroni stable, ex-Kiwi. 37 days since she won at Sandown over 1200.
Does have a good record when fresh though, and loves to be fresh. 18 alley means it'll go to the outside. Jason Patton knows this course pretty well. Latin Class could have a little each way silly chance.
Past the Skies in the market. 2nd at Caulfield, very unlucky behind Shirley's Lavina on Guineas Day, so she's been kept fresh. She did win at Flemington over 1400 in April.
Yeah, doesn't mind it here, and the Flemington course holds no fears for her. She was only beaten by the barrier at the last start. Before that, her form was very consistent. She'll keep going well.
16, Tarathea hasn't raced for 53 days. Her last win was in September of 2001 at Sandown.
Got a fair first up record though, has won a couple of times first up. Look, had every chance last time she raced. I can't see her doing it, but I said that about the horses that placed in the last race, so I'm getting a bit gun shy now.
First of the emergencies getting a run, Marouche. First up, 2 of her 4 wins have been at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, you can forgive her last run, but really she's a Moonee Valley type horse, probably likes the sting out of the ground a little bit too, and I don't think today's the day for Marouche.
And rounding them out, Dan Viva, the 4-year-old, Luke Curry to ride, resuming 3rd at Moonee Valley over 1200 in July. Ex-Friedman horse.
Yes, does like the soft track, this filly, and not going to get one here today. Know a bit about her. She will get up on the pace there, and she's drawn the 11 gate, so she'll have to choose which way she wants to go. But, oh, look, I think there might be easier assignments for her.
So the runners on their way to the post in just a moment. David Hall doesn't have a runner in this race, but he's got Pentastic in the cup, and he's with Greg Radley.
David Hall, trainer of Pentastic. How's he pulled up after the McKinnon, Dave?
Yeah, look, he come through it really well. Obviously, after the Caulfield Cup, we wanted to see him bounce pretty well in the McKinnon, and I was really happy with his sectionals, and more importantly, really happy with the way he come through it, Greg.
And what about the firm track today?
Well, look, I don't think it's quite as hard as Caulfield, but obviously I would have preferred it to be a little bit, the penetrometer to be a little bit higher than what it is. But at the moment, the horse is very sound, and, you know, we'll get out there and give it our best shot.
All right, all the best.
Thank you.
David Hall, who's Karasi ran 4th last year in the Melbourne Cup of Big Odds, and he's the trainer of Pentastic. And we know that Glenn Boss will be okay to ride it. Jason Dunstall's been making some punters happy here today.
All right, it's the Tue's New backing the punter time again. We have the lovely Alicia with us. Now, Alicia, how did you go in that race?
Not good. I backed 3 and I lost on all of them.
3 losers, but the day is about to turn very, very good, because believe it or not, we've actually had a little bit on the winner, Sophie Princess, and your little return is a tidy sum already made out in a cheque for you to the tune of $5,000. Alicia, how about that?
Thank you. That's amazing.
I think we've just made Alicia's day, and that takes our running tally in Tue's New backing the punter promotion today to over $10,000. Don't forget they're matching it dollar for dollar with a drought relief appeal, and of course we desperately need your donation as well. The number there is 1800 056 066.
around the straight, 6 stables to the left of that. We're actually here on the weekend at Lindsay Park, just to the left, doing our preview program. And as we zoom down to the 1100 metre start, and a reminder about sportswatch.com.au, our website, for any merchandise or anything you want to know about the coverage. Here's Rain Gage, 85 years of age, George Hanlon is. 1972, his first Cup winner, 78 and also 84. 3 Cup winners for George.
Years of experience to bring a beautiful thoroughbred to its peak on the day. Now, that horse, pity he's got a rug on it, is a beautiful looking thoroughbred. If you ever get a chance to see him, you'll be so impressed.
We'll see him later today, that's for sure, as the horses, the mares make their way to the post for the Cannon Sprint. Fair Embrace is where the money has been for number 1, and River Dove has been a little easy. Damien Oliver be bursting to win a race. Maybe race 7 is the one with Media Puzzle, but he must have a chance on Fair Embrace. She beat Spinning Hill in the Sapphire Stakes at Randwick in the autumn, and her best form, this time last year, she ran 6th in the Salinger on the Saturday and 4th behind Belle de Jour in the Emirates. I mean, she's right down in class, isn't she?
She is the class runner of the field. She's got a big weight, the 59 kilos. That won't worry her too much. Damien Oliver will look to get over on that inside rail, and I'd say Kieran McAvoy on River Dove, the second favourite, will be looking to follow Damien.
There's River Dove, seeing the back of Kieran McAvoy now. He's got a sore toe, an injured foot after the fall earlier today on Raging Rhino. Came down over the top of Skingertail, was ridden by Glenn Boss.
It's quite amazing. Jockeys get injured earlier in the day. They somehow miss the rides on the ones they don't think can win, but they're always fit again for the ones that can.
Kieran had 10 rides out of 10 today. I mean, he was the only jockey who had a full mount. It's most unusual to see somebody being booked for a ride in every race.
Perhaps I was a little harsh on him there. Perhaps he was. He genuinely injured and he just couldn't ride Belred.
4 is Speaker, favourite at Caulfield, first up. She's
so consistent, Speaker.
Yeah, she
just
is.
So consistent. That last run, don't worry about that. It was no guide.
First Flemington start for her today. Hasn't raced here before.
Many of these mares and fillies will have trialled up the straight. They'll have seen this straight before, but perhaps not under race conditions.
His Girl of Illuminaire, 100 to 1 at Caulfield, and just a length and a bit behind Celestia last start.
I know people would love to tip a long-priced winner, but it's so hard to find Girl of Illuminaire.
Well, Sophie Princess won the previous race. $59,000 trifecta.
Which I think says a lot about the competition here at Flemington. It is so even. It is the best horses in their grade from all around the country, and that makes the racing very competitive. Something going on in the inside gates there.
One of the hoops just out of the saddle there. I think it's Marouche with John Didham.
Yeah, he's just climbing out the back there.
Actually, it's Gouchy's replaced Didham on Marouche because Didham's actually on Tarathea.
Now, this mare may have got herself in a little bit of bother here because Gouchy has climbed out. There's a bit of concern from the barrier attendants.
Speaking of the Didhams, there's Gouch, who's been riding in the Melbourne Cups for a long time.
1984, I think it was. He ran second in the Cup. This horse is coming out of the gates now. The vet's going to have to check Marouche.
I mentioned John Didham a moment ago. Paul Didham is starting the Melbourne Cup for the first time today. He was at 1 year old when his father Midge won the Melbourne Cup on Baghdad Note.
I spoke to Paul this morning. I said, what's the trick to getting a field so large away? He said, you get a window of 2 or 3 seconds and you have to get it right.
So Gouch just waits as they back Marouche out. So she was an emergency getting a run.
Gouch will just stand there and he'll let the vet check it over. And there's the vet in the hat. The man in the hat with the bag there, he's walking over to the horse and he'll cast his eye over the mare. He'll see if she's limping or if there's any obvious damage to her. And she is holding her hind leg up a little bit there and he's having a good look.
So what's the rule of thumb here? Are they conservative and normally scratch them, or do they give them the benefit of the doubt?
They will always err on the side of caution, and I think he's going to scratch this one. It's out.
So Marouche out here, by the look of it. You could, the body language, and you actually heard the words out, so the siren should go here.
Darren Gouchy, a lonely figure down there. He'll have to go back in the starter's van. No ride for him.
So we saw Frankie Dettori on Wyndham Special on the weekend. Miss out. Fair Embrace has come right into 470. 520 River Dove, 720 Speaker, as we join Wayne Wilson for the Cannon Sprint.
Past the Skies, moving up into the gates. Fair Embrace, best back runner. ridden by Oliver, drawn in close, past the skies, coming up a little closer. Marouche scratched at the barrier. There's the siren sounding now. They're about to confirm it. Past the skies, checkered cap. They're in, the lights are on. Mr. McCarroll's up on the platform. Ready. One or two, just a vine. No, hold.
Now they're all in, riders.
No, hang on. We've got one in gate 5. Racing. River Dove began nicely, fast away, Fair Embrace. They're splitting again. They're going to the inside. River Dove shows the way from Fair Embrace. Granny is showing a good turn of speed there as well, just off the pace, followed by Just Divine. Now coming to the outside, on the grandstand side, Speaker shows the way. Speaker is just in front. Girl of Illuminaire is moving up to join Speaker. Just behind them there, getting a nice trail too, is Dolphin Dance. The insider in front as they come down past the 600-metre point. Tara Thea in front. Dan Viva goes to second. Fair Embraces parked just behind them, securing a lovely run. Followed then by Just Divine Granaya. And further back came Empress Waltz, and River Dove is over on the inside. Swing to the grandstand. Speaker's just in front of Girl of Illuminaire. The outside might be in front now. The rider of Girl of Illuminaire just lost his whip. Coming right down the outside with a strong run there. It's Raja Lane. Raja Lane's just in front. Oh, have a look at the inside. Empress Waltz has bolted away from Granaya. Raja Lane on the outside, but the inside is far superior. Raja Lane has won. Raja Lane has beaten Granaya and Just Divine. Raja Lane on the outside is leading home the outside division there. That's Empress Waltz over on the inside winning the race. Empress Waltz beating Granaya and Just Divine, followed in by River Dove, Fair Embrace. The next one home then was Raja Lane, who was out wide. Tara Thea past the skies. Dolphin Dance and Speaker further back. Then American Graffiti. Well back in the field there too was Agadia. And Latin Class, one of the last to pull up with Girl of Illuminaire.
Glenn Boss, a full 2 races ago, and wins on Emperor's Waltz, and it waltzed in. It was a really good win, 14.20 and 4.30. Grania's got second, number 13, and 5 has got third, Just Divine. So it was really impressive. And Emperor's Waltz has just taken off here. And on the inside...
Yeah, she's on the outside of the inside division there in those dark green colours, and she is just racing by them on the inside. I think they've already got control of the outside division, and this mare is just bolting away. We might say Emperor's Waltz was making a cakewalk of it.
Gee, she's a good horse. From Kangaroo Island.
All the way from Kangaroo Island, eh?
Coast of South Australia. They have a lot of racing there. David Huxtable, her trainer. Glenn Boss, the rider. She's won 4 out of her last 5. We have a look from the helicopter shot, and she's just sprinting away from these horses.
She certainly is. You can see the outside division are doing their best, but they're no match for the inside division. She has put a gap in them. It's all over at that stage. And Emperor's Waltz, well, there's no substitution for good, consistent form.
So the inside had it. Grania in second place. And third, Just Divine. Again, good value in the trifecta here. It's not going to be like the last one at 59,000, but it's going to be substantial. Grania, the trick there at $11.60 for second. So what a win for David Huxtable from Kangaroo Island as we join Peter Donegan.
David Huxtable, what a day for Kangaroo Island, Melbourne Cup Day.
I'll say, yeah, it's great.
You must be wrapped.
I am. I'm actually in shock at the moment.
And you're also the strapper as well, so you've got dual duties today.
You bet.
Terrific win, though.